Hello and welcome to the Cart Blue podcast preview show for Aston Villa's fourth consecutive home game in a row against Chelsea. This time out, I'm your host Dan Rolinson, joined by John Townley. I almost called you Jonathan then, which isn't your name. How's things, Jonathan Townley?
It's not my name, but I'm doing well, thanks. I can't swerve Dan into a name that, Daniel. It is Daniel.
Yeah, family call me Daniel. Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I always think it's weird when I introduce myself to people as Dan. They're like, we called you Daniel, so why you call yourself Dan?
It's like, Daniel, get me a tea. Well, not the maybe that thing.
Yeah, like shouting. This is getting the full name process, isn't it? Daniel, come down here. Kind of if you're in trouble kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, what a bizarre start to the podcast. Actually, while we're on kind of having a go at people, let's start with your player ratings for Liverpool.
Make it a weekly segment.
I've had about 4 messages, which is enough for me to have to bring it up on the podcast, because if I don't, those people will message me and say, why did you let him get away with it? As if there's some big scandal. You rated Garcia a 5 out of 10 for his performance against Liverpool, much to some fans suggesting that was way too harsh and you're clueless and deluded and whatever else.
Really?
Do you want to just explain yourself for about 30 seconds so we can move on?
Do I need to explain myself? Okay, well, 6 is a benchmark of a solid performance, and Garcia, if you read the piece, I did praise him in the few sentences I gave, trying to put me under pressure here. But he essentially gave a goal away. So just because it's his third or fourth appearance, you can't just think, oh, he's a young player and he's an experience who will let him off. He still gave a goal away, and that may have been the reason why we dropped 2 points in the match. So of course, it's not going to be a high result. If you thought maybe he wasn't the lowest rated player on the pitch, that's fair enough. But I think I gave a few 7s and a couple of 8s. I think it's one of those where it was a good performance by the team, but I've seen better, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think Liverpool played particularly well. But we did well. We drew to the league leaders, but I've given 9s. I think I've given a couple of 10s this season. Rodgers against Celtic, and then
Tielemans maybe one as well.
A 10.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would have given Tielemans a 10. For a midfielder to get a 10, that you're talking like Conor Horan hat-trick against Norwich City, something like that. Levels to the game at the moment. Don't get me wrong, but maybe 5 was a little bit harsh, but he's still giving a goal away. I think if that was a different player, I think people would probably agree more with my
potentially,
reasoning.
Yeah, you're saying if that was Matty Cash, 5 out of 10.
And it was
all right.
And as well, it was how do I say it, like a footballing error. I don't know how to quite put this, and maybe this is something I shouldn't really be bringing up. But I remember when we played Bruges in the first leg, not there just yet, in the league phase. I think, what did I give? I gave Mings like a 5 or something. And it was like the joint lowest rating, I think, or it must have been. But I think people wanted me to maybe give him like a 1 because he picked the ball up. But in my head, and I think time's passed now enough that I can say this, because I'd said to you at the time about my reasoning behind this and my kind of feeling towards Mings in that game, and you said, don't even say it because people are not going to enjoy it or like it. My reasoning was simply, I actually think he had a good game, and his error, it was so bizarre that he's not going to do that again. And I know you need to be alert on a football pitch, but it just felt like something that is, whereas Garcia, his mistake was, how do I say it, like a footballing mistake of he's passed the ball to the wrong player and they score. Mings isn't even, I know it doesn't sound ideal, but he's picked the ball up and I don't know, do you know what I'm trying to get
to? That's a mistake to make in a weird way.
It's a worse mistake, but such a bizarre mistake. I'm like, well, we clearly didn't mean to pick the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, in an ideal world, I do think the referees should just be like, well, start it again, like in the Bayern Munich match. No one was complaining when whatever happened there. It was the same situation. Nothing happened. Just common sense for me should have prevailed there, and therefore no one would have been talking about Mings picking up the ball because no one, not think. Whereas Garcia's was a footballing mistake. Anyway,
all right.
You've asked me to justify player ratings, and I will talk for an hour about it if you want me. So
more than welcome. Steve Mann says 5 was a ridiculous score. There's another one.
But hold on. Okay, but he's given a goal away. Like we can't. Right. That didn't happen.
I can't kind of fight this too much because I'd say if I think he's played 7 out of 10, he's played reasonably well besides that mistake, which is what I do think. I'm only saying bring him down to a 6 then. So I'm like, give him a 6, you've given him a 5. Like, this isn't like someone scored a hat trick and you've given them a 7 and it should be a 10. Like 5 or 6.
I don't want this to become a thing if I don't rate Garcia or anything. I think he's done very well. But I do think that is considering he's come from Levante. I think if this was a kind of like Matty Cash experienced player, I think we would be saying, yeah, he's done reasonably, he's done okay in the last few games. But he gave a bad goal away against Liverpool. That's just my feelings towards it. I think, yeah, maybe he was a 7, a 6 or something like that, 6.5 if you want to go on halves. But he's given a goal away in a crucial game. So, sorry. He was my joint lowest rated player, I think, or maybe the lowest outright. But, yeah, people want but that is football and it's an opinions.
Well, let's go straight into the presser from there then. So Unai Emery was asked by you or somebody else about making mistakes and whether they should be kind of, I don't know, punish is the wrong word, but like, his thoughts on it basically. So do you want to share that with us as well?
Yeah, so Villa have made the second most errors leading to goals this season. Only Southampton have, how would you say that? Not recorded more, but I suppose that is right. You don't want to record them though. They've made 17 mistakes leading to goals. Villa have made 12 errors leading to goals. Chelsea joint third with 10. So, high chance of an error leading to a goal on Saturday. Emery was asked about it, but basically just said that he thinks, if we're not like, how do I put it, strong enough in duels or that sort of thing, that's a mistake that can happen, but is one that they can also avoid. But mistakes where he's asking them to play the way that he wants them to. They believe that. Sorry, I was just seeing something that came on my phone, and this is the thing of going live. Sorry. What am I talking about? Yeah, sorry. I've completely lost my train of thought, Dan. Sorry, it's the problem with the live.
Was that bad news you just received then, or good news?
Yeah, it was. I haven't read it, but I've got to check it because I don't want to say if it's not true. But just wait 1 second. Martin Ziegler from the Times believes that Villa have breached UEFA spending rules for 2024, but the sanction is likely to only be a fine. So, sorry. My attention.
Whatever.
The point I was making about Angelico's mistakes was that as long as they're playing the way that Emery wants them to play, he thinks over the course of however long, Villa will be better in the long run, win more games, etc. So
yeah, we spoke about this before, and there was a point where we spoke about Villa's style of play when Emery first joined, and there was a quote from Emery at a previous club talking about mistakes that players make, and if they make them playing the way that I've asked them to, that's not on the player, it's on me, because I'm telling them to play that way. It's not like let's all hound Garcia out of town now because he's made a mistake. Emery's asked him to play that way and play those kind of what do you call it, a risky pass? I don't even think it was that. It was just
it wasn't a risky pass,
slip of concentration or whatever. Yeah. But if Unai Emery's telling him to hoof it every time he gets it, he doesn't pass it there, does he? So it's kind of on Emery in a roundabout way. So his point is, I'm not going to kind of blame the players, and neither should we. And that's not what we or you are doing.
No, and it's only one error leading to a goal of the 12 that
I'm surprised there's that many. What? Because this is a little bit like the big chances missed thing we spoke about with Watkins. It was about me and Kendrick had a conversation about what's a set piece goal. Like, is the Watkins goal with the rebound from Rashford's free kick? Is that a set piece goal, or does it become open play from that point? Like, the definitions or whatever. With mistakes leading to a goal, like, what's the definition of that? Like, would you watch some of those 15 back and be like, oh, that's a bit harsh to call that one as well?
I think it would be losing, losing possession in your own half or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe something like losing possession and then a goal within a certain amount of time or something? Like a goal scored 10 seconds after losing possession or something?
Yeah, possibly, but I do trust. I do trust that if you look at Southampton have the most, so therefore it's probably right. It's not the leaderboard that you want to be anywhere near the top of, but I don't know which players as well have been most kind of culpable behind it. And you're right, on the top of my head, I can't think of many off the top of my head previously, but Garcia was obviously one of them.
Just moving on, obviously we're going to continue to talk about Emery and various other bits and pieces from his press conference today, but just as a side point, because you and I have not spoken since Liverpool. Firstly, I thought you might be a bit too famous for the podcast now with your hit tweet about Arne Slot, which I'm going to flash up on screen for those that are watching. I don't know, you don't look at numbers and stuff, but 1 million views on Twitter for the Arne Slot quotes about, have we only got fireworks because it's Liverpool? Almost 1,000 retweets. Very, very funny. Just kind of the difference in managers who, compared to Emery, who we speak about as being classy and not making excuses and whatever else. The fact that this feels like a very Jurgen Klopp thing to say, to have that almost arrogance about it. But there's something really unlikable, isn't there, about Liverpool, Arsenal, this kind of everything's about us. To rock up to Villa Park and just go, they've got fireworks. Well, that's probably because of us guys. It's like, what are you talking about?
It's
very
really,
strange.
really weird. Liverpool are like that. I get the vibe sometimes. They do
kind of us against the world kind of thing.
They do live in a Liverpool bubble in terms of football. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there was a need to kind of bring it back to, it's because it's us. I think that probably invites more pressure onto yourself, to be fair.
Yeah.
Did Villa have fireworks for Southampton? Possibly. I know we had them
for most games, especially the night ones.
I think it's basically all of them. I'm sure Arne Slot's probably seen them as well, but I don't know why he said that. And
weird.
Yeah, basically suggesting that everybody, and no, he's not wrong. Everyone will raise their game, not because it's Liverpool, because you're the best team in the Premier League, and there's nothing wrong with saying it shouldn't kind of boost your ego or anything, because you are that team, So yeah, strange, but I mean, Slot is usually pretty respectful, and I mean, he is respectful. I think it was just kind of
before the game. He spoke very well about us, but after the game,
he did afterwards. He did afterwards in his press conference. He said, Villa away is one of the difficult games in your calendar, like City away, like Arsenal away. So definitely respect. I think it was more just of a sort of again a Liverpool bubble thing.
I think you could be respectful, trying to appease the fans a little bit,
not
because
understanding.
There was some stuff from their fans on social media beforehand. I think Villa put out a social media video of it's Liverpool tomorrow and a few goals that we'd scored against them in previous years and whatever else. Just a video. And their fans were sharing it as Villa are going to turn up like it's a Champions League final. So we're not just going to roll over because you're top of the league and you're just going to come and walk over us because you're Liverpool. I think that kind of thing from Slot is almost a bit kind of feeds into their fan base's mentality of everyone is against us guys.
There was a Liverpool reporter as well who tweeted a photo with the fireworks and said fireworks when Liverpool come to town or whatever. And
really?
Again, similar of you're not you're not that.
Not about you boys.
I don't put it of course Liverpool are important. Man United are important because they have, one of the biggest fan bases in the world. But if I was a Gillingham fan, I also wouldn't care. It is what it is. It doesn't matter if Liverpool comes to town or... Yeah, basically. Wherever heard that before?
Well, don't revolve around you.
Yeah, is it Alan Partridge?
Possibly. I mean, that is a phrase.
Yeah, no, I know. But as soon as you said it, I thought of a clip. Oh, what was it? It was a funny clip. I know you like Partridge as well. What did he say? Anyway. I forgot now. Anyway,
let's move on.
It's not good for live. Slot. Again, I don't think he was being disrespectful. It was just a Liverpool bubble of we're Liverpool, and everyone thinks they have to raise a game for us. Whoever's top, it could have been Southampton top of the Premier League. That's a big game. It's a big game because you're top. Man United at home, that's not so much of a difficult game anymore. But if it is, but you get my point.
We're going to talk about Champions League draw in a second, but I saw some stuff. Again, it's only social media and it's fans. It's probably kids, but it was suggesting there was some kind of fix in the way the draw was done because Liverpool finished above Arsenal and Villa, obviously, in the Champions League phase, and we've got easier games against Bruges and PSV. And we've got PSG. They don't want us to win the Champions League. Yeah, because PSG finished near the bottom half of the table and you finished. It's literally the rules of how it works. It's just so strange, this kind of entitlement that everyone has about their own team. Yeah. Let's do away from match day. We touched on it. Let's talk about the Champions League draw. Obviously, Bruges for Villa, a rematch of that Tyrone Mings incident over 2 legs, where I think most of us would look at that as a winnable fixture and a way to progress to the quarter-final of the Champions League. And absolutely not taking Bruges for granted. We're not going to disrespect them in any way because we've already lost to them once this season. So we will take that seriously, and we'll obviously talk about the game itself in more detail as we approach it in 2 weeks-ish, 10 days, something like that, which is pretty mad, really. We also have our route to the final, if you like. The whole draw has been done of whether you play home and away. Villa are away in the first leg in every round of the competition, which is, to me, a good advantage to be home second leg every time, however far Villa get. We also know that we're on Liverpool's side. So we would play the winners of Liverpool or PSG in the quarterfinal if we were to beat Bruges, which I do back us to do. And like I say, we'll talk about that nearer the time. If it is the way people expect it to go and Liverpool are the favourites against PSG, we spoke a little bit, didn't we, about wanting to be on Barcelona's side of the draw because it's more flashy. You're in Europe, you want to play a European side, not somebody that you've played twice a season for the last however many years. But if it is to be Liverpool in that quarter-final and Villa are home in the second leg, I hope there's the biggest fireworks display we've ever seen just because of the comments that we've just been speaking. Blow the stadium, massive fireworks everywhere, really make a massive thing of it. Fireworks at Villa Park in the Champions League.
Give out the little sprinkler things.
Anything. But yeah, the draw as a whole, it was Dortmund or Bruges is what we were going to find out today, but also we know the rest of it as well. Your thoughts on it? Are you still a little bit kind of, this isn't the word to describe you, but I've got nothing else live. Are you still a bit bitter about the Barcelona-Liverpool thing?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. No, I'm not going to just change it now and lie. Like I said before, I didn't want Liverpool in the quarterfinal, and I'm saying it again. I don't want Liverpool in the quarterfinal. Not because it's a harder game than Barcelona. I think they're probably equally hard. If not, maybe Barcelona is harder. I don't know. But yeah, I don't like the fact that we're playing an English team. I just think part of it being in the Champions League, especially for us this season, because we don't know when we're next going to be in it. It may be next season. It may be in 10. You just don't know. So I want to kind of look back as a fan, but also, kind of professional as well, and say I was at the Nou Camp or I was at, these stadiums.
We've been to Anfield X amount of times already, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, like we go there every year, kind of thing. Like there's no, it's just not unique or special. And I don't like the "you will never walk." This is turning into a bit of a Liverpool hating podcast, but I just don't like those when before them. I said it again about Forest and I said about Arsenal. Same as Liverpool, I just don't like it. It cringes me out. The songs before the game starts. The Champions League night, especially, they're going to love that. So I just wanted a kind of a nice route to the final, but also a scenic one, shall I say?
Do you not give PSG any chance in that?
Oh no, yeah, I do, but I'm not going to. I don't think we kid ourselves. Liverpool are clearly the favourites to go through, especially because they play away first. So I think as long as they're within a goal or even 2 goals, I mean, hell, even 3, they did it against Barcelona, didn't they? Previously. So, but no, overall, I'm happy about the draw, because we play, as you say, Dan, home second in all those games, that's the main thing I wanted. I didn't really want Liverpool, but I think that is the next best thing of having 3 home games, because then the atmosphere for each one is going to be crackling, as long as you don't get pumped in the first game. But I don't think we will, especially against Bruges. I think we'll get out of that at least, kind of worst case scenario, a goal down, and even then I think we could probably win the game, or if not draw. And then Liverpool, I think we can hold our own there against them at Anfield. So yeah, we'll see. We have a cup specialist in Emery who has done kind of wonders in these competitions, over 2 legs and knockout football. So yeah, I don't put anything past us at all. We can beat Liverpool over 2 legs for sure. Just wish that we could have gone to the Nou Camp, that's all.
I've got an updated graphic from the one we spoke about last time we did. It's not as good as UEFA's, but again, don't have the rights for that. So obviously Bruges for us plays the winner of Liverpool PSG. I mean, to be fair, we talk about Liverpool and PSG as Liverpool being the favourites, but on paper that is a more difficult game than Arsenal have. Or you got obviously they're on the other side of the draw, but you got Inter, Feyenoord, Dortmund, Lille, and Benfica, Barca. Liverpool PSG is kind of tasty, isn't it, on paper? And you look at the rest of that as well. The Madrid derby, Bayern and Leverkusen together. Obviously on the opposite draw to Villa. So we will do another video, I think, at another stage on our predictions for the Champions League as a whole, actually, because I think it's interesting. In years gone by, there's been so many times I've just not watched the Champions League. Never know I'm bothered about this, so we're never going to get here. Madrid, Leverkusen on a Wednesday, all right, whatever. It concerns me not one jot. Whereas now it's what's going on the other side of the draw? Who, if we do go all the way, who's going out? Bayern Munich out in the round of 16. Oh, that's good. If we get all the way to the final, that's good, isn't it? So I'm more concerned now, obviously, because we're in the competition, about the thing as a whole. So I'd like to just talk through that Madrid derby in the round of 16 game. It's there's a very good side going out straight away. So we'll talk about that again at another point, I think.
Yeah, just quickly on that though, I think ideally if Villa are to go far in this, like even further, I think PSG beating Liverpool and Atletico beating Madrid, those are kind of the two results you want.
Yeah.
Because I think it's mental to even say this, but if we were to beat Liverpool and then play Real Madrid, kind of difficult. Atletico is still a good team, but Real Madrid just have this thing in the Champions League where again, it's crazy to be talking about this. What you said then was completely true about not watching this competition. I remember watching like Cardiff City because we were trying to get promotion instead of them and blocking out what Ronaldo was doing for you Madrid at the time. Really. And my friends would be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Oh, but I'm like, "Well, if it doesn't impact Villa, I don't care. Like, I could not care less." So I remember being in the Championship and when we got promoted, I remember saying to my dad, like, "Oh, I'll still watch the Championship though, because that was a great ride, really dramatic." I think
I bet you haven't watched a single game, have you?
No, not at all. 2 weeks into the 2019-20 season, I lost it altogether. I was like, "Oh, this is..." So then I realised actually I'm only watching whatever impacts Villa. So
yeah, I think that's fair.
I've blanked out the Champions League for a long time. I've never really, even when the big games happen and big players are playing, I'm not too fussed. It's just if it impacts Villa or not. So it's good that it does now, I suppose.
A couple of comments from James and Luke, both saying that basically let's not underestimate Bruges, and absolutely we won't be doing that.
Oh no.
Liverpool and potential Real Madrid semi-finals. Let's get Bruges done first.
We're only talking about because of the route. I don't think Dortmund would be a harder game than Bruges at all. I think pretty much level. Like what I would say is though, of course, Tyrone Mings, if he didn't pick up that ball, there's every chance that Bruges wouldn't even be in the competition. However, they beat Atalanta and we know that they could. I mean, they beat us again. We did not play well at all, and Mings picked the ball up. So I think we can actually go there with confidence. To be fair,
well, also, I think if that was the first leg, I'll be going in the old format. I'll be going, that was really irritating, but we'll beat them at Villa Park.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't be taking a 1-0 defeat or anything like that. But as I said earlier, I'd back us at Villa Park to do what we need to do against them. But no, of course, definitely no mugs. And the way they played against Atalanta, they play well. They got some really tricky players too that I wasn't aware of, but now I definitely am. So, we are well prepared for that, I think.
Yeah, there's a question in the comments from Elevate.
Is it about my player ratings?
No, it's if we play PSG, could Asensio play? I'm pretty sure he can't he? The European rules are different for loanees. Right. So, yeah.
Asensio Junior playing against Villa.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Right, let's move on back to Emery's press then and talk through some injuries. The big ones in the title, Konsa and Bailey, boosts for Villa if they're in the squad. There was obviously a training session on Friday, a potential boost. If they got through that training session without any problems, they'd be involved in some capacity. We will obviously do a predicted 11 after this as well, but regardless of whether they're okay to start or not, just having those options back if we need them for 20 minutes or whatever is absolutely better than the situation we've been in over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, precisely. And I think as well, I've been looking at this Palace game and the Brentford game for a long time as well, because I just think this is the next 3 league games are absolutely paramount to what we're going to do this season. If we don't pick up, I don't know, probably at least 7 points out of 9, I just can't see us getting Champions League from there, to be perfectly honest. So that's what we need. And therefore, having Konsa back and Bailey back, for those games, hopefully against Chelsea, but for those games as well, especially Konsa, really, Bailey's been consistent. And then Barkley as well, hopefully, maybe for Palace, if not Brentford. So I keep saying Brentford. We've obviously got Cardiff as well there, but in terms of league games. Bailey, Konsa trained. If they got through it, fine. I don't know that at the moment, but if they did, then they'll be in the squad. Barkley is still a few days away. So, yeah, I think that's what we reported previously. There was hope that Barkley would be available for Liverpool and then this game, but it's taken him a little bit longer. Much longer than expected initially. So nearly double the time. What's it been, like six weeks there or thereabouts?
6 weeks, I think, yeah.
Yeah, not 2 months. So yeah, about 6 weeks. Hopefully he'll be back for Palace. If not, as I say, Cardiff, and then got some more important games coming after that, like Club Bruges. So
yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Whether they're available for this one is, I don't want to say it's not the point, but it's kind of, we've got so many games coming up very quickly, and then that big break in March where we don't play that, Pau Torres, for example, is going to be back at some point soon. We hope. if he's not back for this run of games, having 3 weeks off in March is like, okay, well, surely he's back for then. Surely pretty much everyone who's injured at this point in time, Kamara, for example, only a couple of weeks. If that turns into 3, almost 4, he'll be back during that period then when Villa don't play. So you would like to think that Villa come out after the international break in March with, dare I say it, near enough a fully fit squad.
Let's wait and see. Touch wood. It's not wood. That's wood.
Don't touch that unit; it might fall down.
I know. I'll have a little something on Torres later this evening. And no, you're right. Hopefully for April we will have a fully fit team, and that doesn't mean it's going to last more than 20 minutes. But it does mean that if you have 1 injury, then it's 1, not 5. So
I mean, that's also relying on the fact that we don't get any further injuries in the next couple of games either.
Yeah, and that's where we're at the moment. Like, I'm thinking about, well, which players may get injured against Chelsea rather than the players coming back. Well, that's how bad it's been. So, hopefully from now until, you can't even look past the next game. Hopefully in the next 24 hours, we're still fine, basically. That's how many games we're playing at the moment. You just got to take it day by day, literally.
Yeah. Okay, let's do a predicted 11 then. I feel like the biggest talking point here is what to do at centre-half. Obviously, I say obviously, maybe some people don't know, Disasi won't be available because he's a Chelsea player. He's a loanee, so can't play. Different to the European rules where Asensio could play against Chelsea. Disasi can't play against Chelsea.
Yeah, there's PSG. Do you know what you said there?
Timings. Did I not say PSG?
No, you said Chelsea twice, so it's just funny.
How did I? Yeah. My bad. Okay. People know what I'm trying to say, I hope. So Disasi can't play. Tyrone Mings doesn't look quite right to me, and we spoke about this on the post-match, and I'm not suggesting there's anything there, but just looks a bit awkward, doesn't look quite on it. That's a bit of a problem. He's fit and available for selection, but I don't know if he's like 100%. Basically, just watching him as a fan, it doesn't, something about it just doesn't look right. But he's got to play because there's basically no one else. Konsa, it would be in the squad if he's got through today's training session. Is that enough to start the game, though? Do you think?
Don't know, because we, not to. I don't know. We'll find out. I think, put it this way, I think if he's ready, then he'll play. Because
if he's ready enough to be on the bench,
because he's ready. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Tyrone Mings is the example, isn't he? For whichever game it was, I can't remember, where he was on the bench and Kamara played centre half, and it's like, well, if Mings is ready, surely he plays. And then 15 minutes into the game, he's had to come on anyway, and then has completed that 75 minutes and the 90s since. So if Konsa is fit enough to be on the bench, in theory, he could be on after the first 10 minutes anyway. So
if you're on the bench, you're ready, aren't you? Emery will be happy to play Bogard at right centre back, put it that way, if there is any sort of doubt. So I think he's comfortable with Bogard at right centre back now. I think he's proven himself a little bit more Bogard in recent sort of weeks. I prefer him at right centre back or in midfield than at right back. It doesn't quite seem right back to me. We'll find out tomorrow. But if Konsa's fit and available, I'm sure he'll start. If he's on the bench, then there might be, just maybe a fitness concern or something. Again, we played Palace on Tuesday night and then Cardiff on Friday. So, I don't think it's one of those where we need to take any risks. I don't view this Chelsea game kind of any harder than what Palace away will be, to be honest. As in, they're both hard games. Said that in a strange way. Opportunity for us against Chelsea because they can see goals, or they have done, and they've been in poor form recently. But Palace away on a Tuesday night, you've got to show two sides to your game, basically. Like you have to play well against Chelsea to win. You're also going to have to play well and scrap at Selhurst Park to get anything there. So, you need a fully fit 11 at least for Palace, and I'm sure Emery will want Konsa to be a part of that. So, I
think Palace obviously aren't anything special, but it's a bit like Molineux and St James's for me. We just never seem to do well against that at Selhurst Park. So it's kind of like, I'll be, if you just said now, which game are you more worried about, Chelsea or Palace? I'd just say Palace because it's away.
And this is my thing with Villa. It's we drew to Liverpool. We might beat Chelsea, but it doesn't change how I feel. It doesn't change how I feel about Palace and Brentford away, and then after that you got Brighton away. So 3 really difficult away games in a row. You've also obviously got to play away games at City, at there's other places we go that are difficult. So yeah, we've got to prove ourselves in consistency more than anything, haven't we? And away from home, we haven't looked like a team who can put together form to be in Europe, let alone compete for the Champions League. So yeah, Chelsea, we need to win because it's a game where if we don't, they go 7 points ahead of us with a game in hand as well. That's something that is nearly kind of insurmountable, even though their form hasn't been great. But then, as you say, that can change straight away if you then lose to Palace or draw to Palace and Chelsea win their game. So yeah, we're just concentrate on ourselves, but we know we've got a massive task on our hands. It's just chipping away at the games, game by game, but it is hard to look past that away form with 3 of them coming up in the next few weeks or months.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of stats before about Chelsea specifically. Their away form in particular not good, not won for in their previous 6 attempts. Failed to put a shot on target in the defeat away at Brighton. Have you seen the stat? I mean, you get sent stat packs and stuff ahead of games, so I'm sure you've probably seen it.
I don't. I wish I did.
Do you not? Oh, I'll get some. I'll get some
occasionally.
Do you?
Send them my way.
Yeah, occasionally I'll get something from like a marketing agency or something.
I'll look on.
So many chances.
There are places I go to find stats, but
okay. Well, here's a Cole Palmer one for you. Have a guess what his last Premier League assist was.
Oh, I know he hasn't had one.
This is kind of half of the stat.
Yeah, I know he hasn't had one for a while. I don't know, but I'm aware that there's like the amount of chances he's creating or something. Anyway, go on.
Take a guess.
When it was,
or who the opposition was.
Oh, Villa. You've given it away there, surely.
Yeah, it was Villa in December. Assist for Enzo Fernandez. Since then, this is the main part, I suppose.
Yeah,
he's created 33 chances for his teammates, and not a single one has been converted. So similar to the Ollie Watkins big chances missed, Cole Palmer should have 33 more assists.
I don't know if it works like that, but yeah.
Well, exactly, that's the point. It doesn't work like that. Does it?
That's what you're saying. Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, not great. And I don't know enough. I don't watch enough about Chelsea to know whether his quality of chance creation isn't as good as it was, or whether the finishing is the problem. No, I suspect it's the finishing.
Yeah, I mean, they're without a striker at the moment. I presume, I don't know this, but would Nkunku play? Is that his Nkunku? Yeah, well, he would play up front, I presume. Neto, Palmer, and someone else, Caicedo, Fernandez. Caicedo's played a lot of games, so very good player, but maybe a bit tired now. And the defense can be got at. So, yeah, again, it's an opportunity for us, but we've just, we've just got to play our game. And I mean, we all know we need to be better defensively, but as I said before, I think it's kind of too far gone now. We're not going to dramatically keep 5 clean sheets on our next 7 games, are we? So we're going to have to score lots of goals, and I think we definitely can against Chelsea. Yeah. And their goalkeeper as well. I don't know who they're playing in goal. They've got about 8 of them, but I don't think any of them are quite up to it. I mean, I shouldn't have said that, should I? Because
we're talking Palmer assist. We're talking whichever goalkeeper it is gets a clean sheet.
They'll probably sign Alex Palmer on loan or something stupid, somehow bending the rules. He'll play another 10 out of 10 performance. If he was 10 out of 10 performance, I'd give him a 7 out of 10.
Let's end with a score prediction then. I feel like a lot of what we've just said there about Villa having to score lots of goals so they don't keep clean sheets has made this segment a little bit samey, because I'm always backing Villa to win, but I don't see us keeping clean sheets.
Just a score prediction.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I can only really say.
You want to congratulate me for my score prediction?
I genuinely forgot. Let me just load up the document. What I was going to say is it's just very.
No one cares about this at all, but
to pick different things. Actually, I kid you not, and I'll screen share you if you don't believe me. I didn't write them down for Liverpool on my document, but I'm pretty sure I know what they were. Did I say 2-2? Was it, or is it someone else? Not quite sure. No, I said 3-2 Villa win, which was very, very close. Daniel Marlon, almost at the end. Very, very close. John Townley said 2-2. A bang on scoreline, 3 points to you, 0 for me. The first correct prediction, would you believe, of the season?
Get away.
Yeah, we've both got the outcome right. Like we said 2-2 and it was 1-1 or whatever. But a correct scoreline, bang on. It's taken to the 26th game, I think.
You shouldn't have said that.
That's disgusting, isn't it? So, if you're a gambling man or woman, do not put bets on for what we're about to say, because clearly, apart from John's 2-2, are awful at this part.
So bad.
Are you ready to reveal?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Just doubled you, basically. You've gone 2-1 win.
Yeah.
I've gone 4-2, just because we're going to score goals and we're going to concede some. And that's how I feel about every game. So we're either going to win 3-2, 2-1 doesn't feel like quite enough. So I'm left with like stupid scorelines like 4-2. So, obviously I'd absolutely take any kind of win. Was yours 2-1?
2-1.
Yeah, are we only going to concede one? For some reason, it just doesn't seem likely, does it? It's madness. Just very, very quickly, Rebecca says you didn't actually do a predicted 11. Yeah, good point. Forgot, didn't we? We just spoke about centre backs. So Martinez, Garcia, Bogard, Mings, Dean, I think would be the back five. Tielemans and McGinn. Yeah, if Konsa's fully fit, he starts in for Bogard, of course. McGinn and Tielemans are still your only midfield options, so both have to play. Tielemans playing well at the moment, so what you just said there about Caicedo playing lots of games and might be tired. Tielemans isn't he? He's still churning them out. So McGinn also left. Rashford again, I think. Yeah. Rodgers 10 because that's what works. Watkins up front. The right hand side to me is still the only one that's any doubt about the options. Do you go Asensio again, or do you try something different?
Yeah, I would go Asensio, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'd go Marlon, I think.
Maybe Unai plays Asensio in the 10 again. He wants to play him as a 10 behind Watkins. That's what he said previously, but I don't think it worked against Liverpool. But that's against Liverpool. Now this is against Chelsea. So two very different teams and how they play. Do you
think Rodgers is as effective on the other side, though? Is he best at the 10 as well?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Rodgers is better as a 10 and Asensio on the wing. I say on the wing, coming in off the right. I think that's where you can utilise him best. I like Rodgers picking the ball up deep and going. I just feel like he can kind of be drifting in and out of games if he's pushed out wide. So that's what I would do. But again, I don't know what Unai has planned.
Yeah, I'd go Marlon just to change it. You can't keep playing the same team, and he's looked lively in all of his appearances so far. To be fair, so
that's true.
I don't know whether out on the right is his best position or whether it is actually as a striker, but he's obviously played plenty of games out there. So just having that kind of energy and pace is a problem for Chelsea.
If Unai picks something out in that Chelsea defence that's a particular problem and he thinks that one of those players will be more suited, he's got options, hasn't he? That's the important thing. So whether it's, even if it's Ramsey playing on the left and then Rashford more inside, I don't know. But he's got so many options there. Whatever problem he sees, he's got a player surely to play in that role. So that's the important thing.
Just very quickly, because there's been two different questions at the very end. Is there any chance he'll rest Rodgers for Asensio and just be a straight swap?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
I don't either. I think
I don't think. We're nearly at the end of this terrible run. I presume he rests Rodgers against Cardiff. That would be my guess. And then he has 3 games in a week against Bruges, Brentford, and Bruges. So I think that's
a couple of weeks off. Yeah, I think that'd be what I'd do as well.
And I don't know if he'll be in the England squad or not, Rodgers. Depends what Tuchel wants to do.
Probably should be, but I'm not sure he will be.
I'm going to the chippy tonight, Dan.
Let's wrap up there then. Oh, your connection's gone. Brilliant. He's back. Don't say anything. Let me just wrap up. Dan Modell earlier said, I'll give John Townley's podcast performance a 5 out of 10. So let's use that comment now.
To be fair, I haven't been on form today. But what I was going to say then, Dan, no, I don't know why. I'm going to the chippy tonight.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Nice. And I was looking at the set menu. I don't go kind of out much because of the prices. I just think are ludicrous. It's going to cost like 20 plus quid for 2 fish and chips.
It's ridiculous these days.
I haven't had a fish and chips for like a long time, right? But
it used to be like half that when we were kids.
Yeah, I remember being at uni like in a few years ago, and it was never like, I don't know, it was like 5 or something for fish and chips. I don't know what's going on, but that's my kind of judge of inflation. It's not good.
How much for fish and chips these days is your judge? Yeah, I mean the only thing I could suggest is depending on the place that you go to and how much your appetite is. Obviously, you said for 2, maybe just get like the biggest offering they do and share it. It would be the option potentially.
Yeah, well, this might be controversial. I don't really like chippy chips, as Cole Palmer would say. I'm just not a massive fan of them. I think it's like
What are you going for then?
Soggy and horrible. You know, do you know, you have it in your head of like, oh, I kind of think I want it. I was driving back and I was like, fancy a fish, and then obviously you can get chips. So maybe that is a good point. Maybe if we get fish and chips and then just
get like a large, and share.
They usually give you too many, not too many.
Yeah, and you always regret it afterwards. You always think like, oh, I didn't.
I'll regret it after minus £23 alert comes on my phone. What is that about? Honestly,
do they do? I bet they don't. I bet they don't do orange chips, do they? Where you are?
Probably. I don't know. I'm not from where. Do they do them in Kidderminster as well?
No, it's a Black Country thing. So
no, but you're closer to me, though, aren't you? So.
Yeah, I don't think they do orange chips in Kiddie either, which is a shame because that's the best option, and it's very much a Black Country thing, which means very little to most of our audience. So let's stop talking about it. Right, let's end it there. Thanks everyone who tuned in live on Friday evening for this preview. Massively appreciate you choosing us to share your thoughts on the game with. And John, thank you for sharing your thoughts on the game with. A lot of nonsense. John, thanks for sharing your thoughts on the game with me. If you listened on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can get involved on their various ratings, systems, and comment sections on Spotify and share your views there as well. Myself and Matt Kendrick will be here for the post-match show tomorrow evening. I always say the time is an estimate for those that are like, oh, you're late. It's 5:30 kickoff. I'll probably not get home till, I don't know, 10:30 or something. I don't know. It's late, isn't it?
Really? So, 10:30?
Well, I reckon I'll probably get back to. I've misjudged the kickoff time there.
Game will finish at what, 7:30?
Yeah. If we get out of Villa Park, all right, should get back to Halzone for 8:15. Then back to Kiddie. I reckon about 9ish. I should be back for.
Oh, you're doing a couple of trips, are you? Oh.
I have to go to my dad's and then back here. Yeah, so it's basically like double the journey. Anyway. 9 more so than 10:30, but then we're going to get ready and set things up and whatever else. So 9:30, I don't know, whatever. Just basically, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll see
do an hour of preparation. Kendrick will do 2 hours of preparation.
Yeah,
rewatch the game.
Oh yeah. Get on Y Scout.
Check my ratings. Slag me off.
I don't even get the 3-minute highlights before we go live these days. Just start and wing it. No, keep an eye out on the podcast feed wherever you get it, and you'll see when we go live. Basically, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10, something like that. Right, let's end this nonsense. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching or listening, and we'll see you Saturday. Bye.